Hi, my name is Diana. Welcome to the kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this amazing Tuscan white bean pasta recipe. Come and join us and let me show you how I make it. The recipe calls for 8 ounces of linguine pasta. Today we are using fusilli pasta. This is what we had available in our Country Life store. So this is what we're using. Calls for a handful of sun-dried tomatoes. We're using the Country Life brand sun-dried tomatoes. You can also find this in our store. The recipe calls for 4 ounces of fresh spinach. The recipe calls for a half teaspoon of basil. You can use any type of Italian seasoning that you prefer. I'm using a combination of thyme, rosemary, and basil today. We are also using a half teaspoon of red pepper flakes. The recipe calls for a half teaspoon of salt. We will be adding some salt into the water to boil the pasta. We won't add any additional salt to the dish because of the sun-dried tomatoes that are cured with salt. Vegan parm is also a great addition to this recipe. We like to put this on top at the end. We'll need some olive oil for sautéing the onions and garlic in the pan. And finally, the star of the show is the white beans. Now, the original recipe calls for cannellini beans. We had Great Northern beans available to us today in our store, and so you can use any bean that you like. This is what we're using today. To prepare the dish, we'll start with 1 onion. Cut that in half, and then I like to slice my onions this way. Okay, perfect. Put those off to the side. Now, I measure garlic with love. You can use up to 4 to 6 cloves of garlic. This is just 8 ounces of pasta, so today I think I will just use 4. We'll smash them. To make the skins easier to remove, just place it right under the blade of your knife and smash. That makes these skins easier to remove. And last one. And then mincing the garlic. You can use garlic that's already minced in a jar. You can use garlic that's in a tube. The paste garlic is really convenient. It's really quick. You just squeeze it into the pan. But there is nothing like fresh garlic for a pasta dish. Now, we are going to dice the sun-dried tomatoes. The easiest way to remove the stem end of the tomatoes is to stack all of these are sun-dried tomatoes, they're a half of a tomato. So we stack them with the stems to one side, kind of flatten them out just a little bit. And then these ends where the stem is, you just slice that off, put it to the side. That'll be a great addition to making stock if you like to make homemade stock at home. And then we're just slicing the sun-dried tomatoes just as thinly as we can. Now, this dish doesn't have any type of pasta sauce because the olive oil and the pasta water and everything will combine to make a really nice coating on the pasta so that it will not be dry. Just be careful not to cut the ends of your fingers off. You have to keep your fingers tucked. There we go. All right, that looks great. So now we have our pasta, our tomatoes, our spinach rather, our sun-dried tomatoes, onions and garlic, and our seasonings. And now we're ready to go into the pan. All right, I think we are ready to get this going. First thing we'll do, now that the water is boiling, we will add some salt to season the water. tiny bit of olive oil so the pasta doesn't stick together. And then our organic fusilli pasta. So good. I can't wait to try this. Okay, we'll set a timer for 9 minutes. We want it to be al dente. Okay. And while that is starting, we will saute our onions, garlic, and all the other good stuff. So we're adding the onions and garlic to the pan. We're going to leave out the sun-dried tomatoes for right now. Turn this down. You don't want it to be too hot because then the garlic will scorch, and that is never a good thing. So I would say 3 to 4 minutes maybe to saute the onions and garlic. You want them to be soft and fragrant. Check the pasta so it doesn't stick to the bottom. So while you have a few moments, it's always good to, you know, set the table, maybe clear some dishes out of the sink, all of those little side jobs that are easy to do. So now we're looking at the onions. They're starting to become nice and clear. Now we will add in the sun-dried tomatoes. Let them catch a little heat. Starting to smell so good. Okay, so now that the the onions and garlic are becoming a little more brown, the tomato is giving off a little more fragrance. Now we would add in our beans and spinach. We're gonna wilt this down. Okay. My favorite part about making pasta, number one, it's really quick. And number two, it's inexpensive. You don't have to buy, you know, name brand pasta. You can buy whatever pasta you like. I like the pasta we carry at Country Life. We are a couple minutes away from the pasta being done. Let me give that another stir. Now we can add in our red pepper flakes and our Italian seasonings. You can leave the red pepper flakes out if it's too spicy for you. Okay, getting that wilted down. Starting to smell so good. This is one of my favorite dishes to make. It comes together really quickly. You can have it ready in less than 30 minutes. It tastes wonderful. We eat a lot of beans in our house, so anything with beans and pasta is great. The fresh spinach makes it very nutritious. The sun-dried tomatoes give it extra color and flavor. I just love this dish for all of the reasons. There's the pasta. Let's check and see where we are. That is not quite done, but that's okay because we want the pasta to be not quite done. We're going to add it to the skillet, but first we need to save some of this pasta water. We're going to save some of this pasta water. This is what brings the silkiness of the sauce that it makes, the starch that's cooked out of the pasta. Helps to make a really nice sauce. So we're just going to reserve maybe a cup and a half, 2 cups. I'm not measuring the amount of pasta water that I'm saving. Just save a little more than we think we need. So we've turned off the pasta. Now we will take it to the drain. pasta is drained. This goes in the pan. We're almost ready to eat. Now we'll combine the pasta and the beans together. It looks a little dry. Of course, we haven't added the water yet. So here is we'll take some of this salty pasta water and we'll just add a little bit to the pan. Now we'll finish cooking this pasta in the skillet. Now you can see all the pretty colors with the green spinach, the red sun-dried tomatoes that have been julienned, and then also the beans. It looks so pretty. Put a little more pasta water, that's cooking a little fast. Okay. Now we don't want the pasta to be watery. As you can see here, there's quite a bit of liquid in the pan. As the pasta finishes cooking, the water in the pan will combine with all of the seasonings and the oil to make a really nice little sauce. It'll reduce down and be super tasty. That is so pretty. I don't know, I think I like it more with the fusilli pasta than with the linguine. If you have any questions about this recipe, you can leave comments and we would love to hear your thoughts. So once this pasta is ready, you can serve it just as it is. This would be a really great lunch or a light dinner. If you need some added protein, you could add, some of our soy curls. You could use that as a meat substitute. Our soy curls are wonderful in this dish. You could use ground TVP as a substitute for meat. You could even, which I have done in the past, is sliced up portobello mushrooms and use those as a steak substitute in this dish, and it turned out great. So you could do that also. Okay, we are just about finished now. I'm gonna pull this back so you can see that the sauce is thick. It's not watery and runny. It's coating the pasta really nicely. All right, we are just about finished. I have turned off the burner. This is coated with the sauce. It smells so good already. We're going to get ready to plate next. Okay, we are ready to get this plated. We've got our onions and garlic sauteed. We added the Italian seasonings, red pepper flakes, wilted our spinach, put the beans in. We boiled our pasta in a different pot, added them all together. We added some pasta water to make the nice thick sauce. And now we're ready to try with our white bean Tuscan pasta. Smells so good. Just so you can see. And then we'll finish it with our Country Life vegan parm. All over the top. I don't measure this with teaspoons, I measure it with love. All right, that looks delicious. I cannot wait to try this. Well, I hope you all had fun learning how to make this white bean Tuscan pasta. I had fun showing you. I'm ready to try. I wish you could be here. The pasta is so tender. It's not overcooked. The beans give it a really nice hearty flavor. The sun-dried tomatoes give it that little extra salt. It's great. I can't wait for you to try it. Thanks so much for joining us today.